Hey there, Daisy. Let's take a look at this new set of essays, okay? This is the one about spending money on weddings. Do its benefits outweigh its disadvantages? Lavish wedding parties are the norm in many parts of the world. This has led to people throughout both the developing and developed world to debate whether expensive wedding parties have more advantages or if it merely increases problems for the married couple. I believe that the disadvantages of this trend by far outweigh the merits, okay? It is unquestionable that there are several benefits of a big budget wedding. Firstly, careful, it is an occasion to celebrate, which happens just once or sometimes more than once in a lifetime. Particularly in developed countries, the standard of living has increased exponentially, allowing couples to create a memorable and special wedding day, which they will cherish for the rest of their lives. Secondly, it can be incredibly satisfying for couples to host high-cost weddings as a mark of their social status, wealth, and importance. For instance, a recent television report about a large-scale wedding of a businessman in India made the couple world-famous instantly. It must not be forgotten that thanks to the development of social media, people upload their wedding photos to Facebook or Instagram to show off their expensive ceremonies to people who could not make it to their weddings. Therefore, it is conclusively clear there is considerably strong case to be made in favor of trendy marriage parties to improve social status and make lifetime memories. Okay. I have a little concern with this. I feel like what you're really doing here is not talking about the benefits to an expensive wedding, but instead you're talking about the reasons why people have an expensive wedding. These are two very different things. The benefits of something are not the same as the reasons why people do it. And I feel like the way you have framed all of this, it makes these, which could be potentially benefits, make them sound more like reasons to do something. Okay? So, why do I have an expensive wedding? Because I want to cherish it. All right? I want to cherish my wedding. I want to have it be this super luxurious day, so that's why I'm doing it. Why do I have an expensive wedding? To satisfy my need to show my social status. Do you understand? So what you're telling me really is reasons to do something and not what you gain as a result of this. The other thing you have to ask yourself is, these supposed gains, could I have gotten them if I had had a low-cost wedding? Okay? So you have to consider that as well. And again, I'm going to say this, it's also a little bit of a matter of how you framed this, because some other students have also used similar examples here, but they framed it differently so that it did in fact sound like a benefit that is gained, okay? So what do I mean? I mean that you can say, for example, that when your married life starts off with this wonderful, luxurious party, this celebration, it sets the tone for the rest of your life. It creates feelings of positivity, not just for the couple, but for the family as well. And so there is basically a warm and positive feeling for the start of the life of the young couple, okay? Such a positive feeling could not be accomplished if the couple had a frugal wedding ceremony, okay? So that makes it sound more like a benefit. And the same thing goes to this thing about, where was it? Oh, about social status. So if you had said that the expensive party, the expensive reception actually boosts a couple's social status, and you know, they are regarded, especially in certain parts of the world, they are regarded more highly by their social circle if in fact they spoil their guests with the celebration's details, then that sounds like a benefit. But the way you phrased it all here makes it sound more like the reasons why they do this, okay? Moving on, although there is a case for extravagant wedding ceremonies in the face of extra wealth among young people and pressure to show off wealth, it can create potential problems for the newly married couple. The problem arises when people opt for weddings that they cannot afford. Spending borrowed money on a wedding is definitely not a wise idea. It will unnecessarily put a financial burden on the new couple even before they start their life together. To illustrate this further, a recent study by the Department of Finance in one of the universities in Indonesia revealed that the percentage of young couples in debt has increased substantially over the last 2 decades. It is predicted that this percentage will continue to grow in the future if young people do not become financially smart and aware of their expenditures. Consequently, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the largest drawback to such a costly wedding is the huge financial crisis that follows after the wedding for a middle to low income. Get rid of A for middle to low income earners, and then that's fine. All right, fine. Let me look at one little thing. Okay. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that the demerits of a failure wedding, such as a lifetime of money troubles, far outweigh the advantages. Nevertheless, marrying couples should be allowed to choose the kind of wedding they should have. They should be under no compulsion to throw lavish parties that they cannot afford. All right, it's fine. I definitely like the second half of the essay a lot more than the first half. It certainly dealt with the negative aspect of this. However, there is one problem. It asks you to talk about the benefits and the disadvantages. Here, even though we talked about what was wrong with it, you did at least provide 2 things. Here, maybe I'm wrong. However, it looks to me like you really only showed 1 disadvantage. I could only locate 1. If you disagree and think that you did in fact say 2 or more disadvantages, then please indicate that in your next email to us. But the reason I state that is because it clearly asks for, where'd it go? Wait, there it is. Disadvantages, plural. So there is this implication that 1 disadvantage is not enough in order for this to be considered a well-developed essay. All right? Keep that in mind, although I liked it. I liked what you wrote. I do have that concern, okay? Let's see here now. Yeah, let's move on to your task 1. I think we covered task 2 quite a bit, so let's go to your task 1, and let's see what you said. The pie charts compare the popularity of 8 school subjects over a 3-year period from 2014 to 2017 in New South Wales. Overall, it is immediately evident from the representation that maths was the most popular and chemistry was the least preferred subject in 2014. However, in 2017, biology was the most sought-after subject, and while IT was the least favored one. Furthermore, while the popularity of physics, biology, and history grew, math, geography, PE, and chemistry experienced a decline in preference over the period given. Also, IT was the only discipline which remained relatively stable over the 3 years. All right, I would have left out some of this for your overview. It doesn't feel like an overview. You start getting into a lot of details. So, you could have stopped here, essentially. And with this furthermore, I would have just gotten rid of it and moved on to your details paragraph. All right, so more precisely, among the subjects which gained popularity in the 3 years, the most significant was history, which was preferred by just 1.2% of students in 2014. However, it's one figure. The figure jumped almost 20 times. So get rid of the S, get rid of 2. 3 years later, okay, fine. Likewise, the proportion of students going for biology nearly doubled from 2014 to 2017 to this. A similar trend was seen for physics, although the rise was only marginal. Okay, you could have put here a 2, so 19.4% to 21.2. That would have been better, more accurate. In contrast, the trend for the rest of the courses was dramatically different. Maths and geography were preferred by more than a quarter of students in 2014. Nevertheless, these subjects observed a considerable decline and reached 12.2 and 18.7 respectively after 3 years. Similarly, the decline for PE was 5 percentage points from 8.7 to 3.2 in 2017. It is interesting to note that IT showed little variations, but chemistry almost disappeared from the data. Not almost, it did disappear. But chemistry disappeared from the data by the end of the period given. All right, it did disappear. I'm glad you mentioned it, but to say that it almost disappeared is inaccurate. Daisy, I liked this. I think you did a great job with this. Well organized, really extremely clear. So this is a really well done task 1. It's kind of long. I feel without even doing a word count, it's got to be over 200 words. If you manage this in under 20 minutes, then great. But it has a level of detail. It has the variety of language and good grammar control that a task 1 needs to have. So I'm pleased with it, provided that you are within your time limits, okay? Go ahead and correct these essays, return them back to us corrected, and let's see what you're going to write in your next set. All right? I'll be looking forward to it. Good luck.